So this is the TIP Network where we talk about the culture, combat sports,
and self-improvement.
Ooh, the struggle.
I didn't realize we were playing the drum beat right there. Now I know.
I was like, help me out here. All right, so what we have here is a reaction to one of our favorite content creators, the lead attorney. So what we have here is a clip, the lead attorney versus good father, weak ex-husband. And so I'm going to roll it back just a little.
I like how he's titled that too. The lead attorney versus good father and weak ex-husband.
So, and one thing I like about this, he's saying that he's a good father. He's doing everything for his kids. But basically there's a lot of criticism of how he dealt with the ex. So we're going to just roll the clip back a little. Start again.
You gave her $2,000. $2,000 is less than $3,700.
I'm sorry. I went to the court. And they looked at my numbers and her numbers, and they said for the kids that I have and the income that we have is $1,375. I'm supposed to give her, right? When I spoke to her, she goes, "No, that's not good enough because based on my social standing, I'm not going to accept that from you." I said, "Well, this is what the court said and everything." And she goes, "No, I don't care about that. I want this money. I want $2,000 because that." And I thought about it.
So stop there.
Yeah.
So basically.
Right.
He's court ordered to pay $1,375, $1,375.
Yes.
Then his wife, his ex-wife, is demanding from him an extra $2,000 on top of that. Am I hearing it correctly?
Yeah. That's the thing here. And so here's the first thing is so child support is for child support, but what she said is that my social standing demands that I have this.
I'm sorry, but just fuck your social standing. What the fuck?
It's the algorithm.
I don't give a fuck. This is crazy. Your social standing for what? To what?
And this is the thing that I was talking to you about off camera. Is that a lot of times, like, you say, if you say, all right, so let's just say $1,375. Most states, $1,375. What are you trying? You're trying to feed and clothe your kid. Maybe you kick in some money for school clothes.
And I'm assuming it's a month, right?
Yeah. Okay. $1,375 a month, right? And so I don't. Especially if they're in the South, I know that. Let's just take mortgage, right? The average mortgage of a house in the South, if you're if you're in a suburb of Houston, like let's say Springer Conroe, and I'm just using this because I've been looking for property there on my way home. It's about $1,500 to $1,600 for a nice 3-bedroom house. A nice 3-bedroom house, not new, but in a good neighborhood, solid. And so
we're assuming this gentleman is from one of these areas where their money goes much further.
And he could be from Baltimore or any place like that. But let's just say this: any place. Let's just be real. Any place out of San Francisco, Los Angeles, right? New York City, Hawaii, a couple of cities of Connecticut, and probably Miami. That's more than enough money to feed and clothe a child. Now, understand something: feed and clothe a child, maybe pay a little rent, but your social standing doesn't exactly demand that I pay you more. But this gentleman, he said, "Okay, I thought about it, and I'm going to pay $2,000."
Wait. Okay, I'm still hung up on the social standing thing. All right. So your social standing is, so you need a $2,000 cushion for your lifestyle, for your social standing. But then do these people that you hang around with know that you're getting an extra $2,000 from your ex-husband? Is that even known?
They probably applaud it because what
kind of social, what the fuck?
They probably applaud it. Remember that? Because I want you
ridiculous.
So right now, I want you to link that clip that I sent you about the lady with the 5 baby daddies talking about, even though I don't know what's wrong with her face mask. Her face mask looks like she should spend some money on it. But 5 baby daddies, and she gets more money than having 5 kids by one person.
I got something to say about the fact that I got 6 kids with 6 different men. So I'm just going to tell y'all why it is better to do it this way. If I had 6 kids with all the same dude, I get 34% of his income, which is only $680 a month. If I got 6 kids with 6 different dudes, I get 17% from each one of them, which is $340 a month from each one. $340 a month times 6 baby daddies is $2,040. So why don't you have 6 baby daddies?
I mean,
she gets
because the problem is this: for a lot of men, we look at marriage as a racket if it fails, and a racket that it's just sorely based against us.
A racket to take out of your pocket?
A racket to take out of your pocket. Let's continue the clip, okay? You ready?
All right.
All right.
I said, you know what? Even if I have to bust my butt for 3 years, I'll give you this 2,000 because I don't want you talking negative to the kids about your father's a deadbeat, he ain't no good, he blah blah blah. So therefore, I conceded to it, and I'm cool because at the end of the day, I made enough money that I could cover the 2 G's a month.
Wait, pause that real quick. You know what? Like you did mention about this, and I want you to talk about it, right? And I'm only thinking about it now because we're off camera. You're like, oh, what are your thoughts on it? And I'm like, I don't know. But actually, thinking about it now, the whole deadbeat concept, because I had a pregnancy scare, you know, like the worst thing for myself to think about myself is becoming a deadbeat father.
I want 100%.
So actually, yeah, there is that idea.
Yes, sir. Like. So here's what I say. I know, and what I was saying is that I know men who court order says, listen, you pay, you know, you have 2 kids, you pay $800 per kid a month, and that's what they pay.
Is that standard?
That's well, it goes off your income.
Okay.
You know, that's all they pay. So hey, I'm paying $800, and you know that's for the kids. $1,600 is going to be enough. I mean, look, in the Bay Area, your rent for a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom apartment is probably close to $3,000, to be honest. Just to be honest, so that's tough, right? This is some years ago. This is before the big housing explosion that I know this person personally, and he was like, you know what? I'm only paying this. You're going to get it every month. It automatically comes out of my check. I'm not giving you a penny extra. And also, and you know, and this gentleman was like, look, I see my kids and I'm going to tell them, right? I also know guys who like,
kids are going to tell them.
I see my kids, I'm going to tell them that I'm the man. I send the money. I take care of them. I love them, right? I call my kids every night to tuck them in to sleep. This is how I support them. I make phone calls. I let them know that when they're in their mom's custody, when they're not with me on the weekends, I tell them, hey, I love you. Dad loves you. I call you every night to tuck you in.
And that's from, let's say one is you're the father, and you're saying that without even like factoring the mother's going to say something. You want to make sure that perception of your actions and what you say.
And let's be honest, if you're paying what court ordered you to pay, you're not a deadbeat by definition. I know another guy who paid what the court ordered, and you know, every weekend he was buying his clothes. Buying his kids clothes, buying his clothes kids. That was funny. Every weekend he was buying his kids clothes. He's taking them out to the movies, doing this, doing that, doing activities with it. If they needed something for school, he was there to buy it. If they needed clothes, he, you know, like, oh, well, you know what? I'm gonna be playing soccer. All right. I mean, I know somebody right now. You know, gonna be playing soccer. All right. Let me take care of all the soccer. Let me take care of all the softball stuff. I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. You know, it's expensive, but I got it. Right. That person's also not a deadbeat. You know, the biggest thing is what this shows the most to me is that the justice system is so slanted against men that when a separation or a divorce happens, it's a problem. It's a problem to be a good father. And this is why I believe that a lot of men are walking away from marriage. I mean, I looked up statistics yesterday because a jerk challenged me.
You're doing research now too?
I do research all the time.
Especially that comment thread?
Yeah.
Hitting you from every angle?
So a jerk challenged me. And so what I said was like, you know, like when Kevin Samuel says that 51% of men are single and unmarried and without children, black men, I actually verified that through the U.S. Census because a lot of people are like, I want to know the facts about this. Of course, everybody who says they want to know the facts about it doesn't look up any other facts. They just want you to give them facts. And so, no problem. I didn't make the claim, by the way. Kevin Samuels made the claim, but I went and did the research. So I looked up the U.S. Census. And what the U.S. Census says is that black men, by demographic, under 30, 20% of them have children, right? 20% of them have children. Black men under 80, black men under 80. That's funny. Black men under 50, 80% of them have children, right? The mean average, just a mean average, between where they at the extremes is 52.3%. That's where you get a mean average. That's where people say 51% of black men are walking around single and unmarried. Now the black men in the middle class is a little harder because there's other ways that people make income, you know, but what sources show that if middle class is in the United States depending on where you live, 30 to 50,000. About 64% of black men are in the middle class. Now in the Bay Area, middle class is honestly $100,000, right? So being in the middle class is really tough in the Bay Area, and once you achieve
I'm
it.
definitely not in the middle class, right?
Well, trust me, it's hard to stay here. It's hard to stay here, and it's just a lot of people don't understand classes. They don't understand the difference between being poor, working class, middle class, and upper class. They don't understand none of that. They don't understand it. Looking at this gentleman, I would say that he's obviously someone who is firmly in the middle class, who decided to pay extra money for his children. But the thing is, he was paying it just so she wouldn't badmouth him. I see that a lot. I see a lot of men doing stuff just so they won't be badmouthed by the baby's mom, which, by the way, that should never happen.
I'm going to interject here because there was another thing you asked me off camera. And there's an actual double answer to it. Oh my God, why didn't even say anything outrageous, man? I didn't even talk about dominatrix or anything. What happened?
Dude, I heard something else, and then anyway, go on.
Okay, so where was I? For my upbringing, my dad, my father had split because she had some issues, right? But then he also had some issues, and not really. She definitely had the issues, and the badmouthing of the other parent is real.
Yes.
It really is real.
And it has did it have a profound effect on you?
It did have a profound effect on me. And this is why it had a profound effect on me, right? Because as a kid, kids should be given a little bit more credit. Because kids can see through the lies and through the deception. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the other parent that's badmouthing the other parent don't even realize that the kid can see it. In fact, maybe even think their kid is too stupid to even notice. Mm-hmm. So from seeing objective reality and seeing the actions and behaviors that my father was doing, and seeing that from my mother and how she was acting, it showed me that being in a position, I was experiencing that my mother was bad-mouthing my father.
Wow.
I did. And I never saw anything different, perceived anything different from my father, because his actions, his behaviors,
because he was
proved otherwise.
He was a stand-up guy.
He was a stand-up dude.
All right, stand-up guy.
Right. So like, I totally understand that, but for guys like this, your kids can recognize, especially if it's pretty black and white.
Yeah. So it's just to juxtapose your story. My mom and my dad separated when I was really young. Right. There was issues in the marriage. I have vivid memories of my dad coming over eating dinner with us. My mom did her best not to talk bad about my dad in front of me. My dad was actually welcome in our house. Matter of fact, my dad coming over to whip my ass was a real threat. It was a real threat. I mean, of course, things changed. At 12, 13 years old, my dad got remarried. So things changed. His attention went to his other family. But I was always invited over there with the family. Like my little brother, we're close. Yeah. I mean, it's funny. We don't hang out a lot, but literally, my little brother called me and said, "Bruh, I need this right now." I would just have to go. I would have to take off work if I was at work. If I was going to pod, we wouldn't pod that day. I would have to go because, me and my family in Texas, I took my girlfriend down to stay with my dad's side of the family in Texas, and they embraced us, they embraced my girl. And well, I brought my girl to my dad's little sister, who I call my mom in Texas, and my mom and her are good friends. My mom's good friends with my dad's sisters. They love each other. So it's just really a weird situation where when I hear that, and I was like, okay, I know my mom and my dad have problems, because you got to give kids credit. So I know they know when you're fighting, they know when things are bad, they know when they're upset.
At a young age, too.
Yeah, we know. Yeah. But my mom did her best to make me understand that that's my dad. And even if he's an a-hole sometimes, he's still a man, and he's still to be respected by you. And my mom respected him.
So, okay, one thing I'll say, though, is that when I said what I had said, too, is I believe that, in my own personal experience, is that sometimes the mother thinks that the kid will lose love for the mother. So she needs to compensate in other ways to make sure that love is still there. But sometimes, from my own experience, it actually drove me apart. And as I got older and I became more aware of things, and I was like, all right, whatever. But anyway, I don't want to get too personal there. But
we're here to get personal. We are here to get personal. Let's watch a little more of the clip.
And I made sure that she had everything she needed. I gave her everything else. And even with all that, she still talked a little bad about me, even
Exactly. Exactly. Wait.
The league was like, I knew it was coming. I knew it. That dirty bitch. That dirty pook-yak. Ya whore.
You know, that was the part of the alarm one that he hit.
He was bad. Look, hey, this freeze right here.
$700 extra.
You pay $700 a month.
Yeah.
True.
Every single month for 3 years.
True.
So that this woman does not talk bad about you after she told you that the amount of child support that the judge said was fair. She told you that wasn't enough. So she made you pay $700 more. Maybe that's a strong word. You agreed to it.
I agreed.
Hoping that she wouldn't talk bad about you in front of your kids. And
Hey, the lead is on him.
And I hope guys listen to this so you do not make the mistake that this man made.
No. But I don't think it's a mistake.
No, it's absolutely a mistake.
Why you say that?
So I mean, this is all right. So look, this is blue pill in action. Probably a blue pill alpha. Blue pill in action.
And before you go, I want to say real quick is I actually understand where he was coming from because at one point I did have more of that blue pill conditioning, and you want to make sure your kids look at you a certain way, and then you want to justify your actions that they are winning, but in fact,
Well, I mean, but here's the deal.
It's not.
So his outcome may have been what he wanted, and may have been what he wanted, because he feels like, no, it's not a mistake, right?
But
the bottom line is this: if you're taken advantage of, you got to say, I was taken advantage of, or you're just gonna continuously get taken advantage of. Shall we continue?
Yeah.
Why you say that?
Because you tried to bribe your baby's mother. You tried to pay her $700 a month so that she would not talk bad about you in front of the kids, which she is court ordered not to do. She could go to jail for that. No, parents are not allowed to disparage the other parents in the presence of the children. She was already court ordered to do that. So even though a judge ordered her not to do it, you paid her an extra $700 a month so that she didn't do it. And then she did it anyway. And then she didn't go to jail, and she didn't return you your money. That's why it's bullshit. Like, it's the worst.
The lead is on him. He was, and you know what? He should be on him. And I gotta tell you this. I'm gonna say this 100%. With this particular gentleman, I think what makes the lead so upset is that he's so cavalier about it, that he's not actually upset about the fact that he paid extra money. Sometimes men paying extra money that we shouldn't pay is just a reality. It's just a reality of life. Hey, sometimes I go, and I remember once I went to get my car fixed. My first luxury car, I had a Lexus. I went and got a tune-up. I went to a local shop. Tune-up cost me like $1,000. I was like, Jesus, $1,000. It's the 90s. But anyway, I was driving, and I was like, hold on a second, I'm having a problem. So then I went to the dealer, and I paid another $1,000, and I got it fixed. And then I remember talking to my dad. My dad was like, stupid, why didn't you take it back to that guy? And I was like, well, that guy ripped me off. My dad was like, you paid too much money. You're paying too much money, right? And you have to come to a realization that you're getting taken so you don't get taken again. So I'm going to tell you that this guy, if he gets married again, same situation, he'll let it happen again because he didn't learn the lesson.
I want to repeat what the lead attorney pointed out, was that he's making a bad example for any other young men, that somehow from this gentleman's, his actions, how he handled his particular circumstance with his ex-wife is the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
The lead attorney says this is absolutely wrong. It sets a bad standard, and it only makes more blue pill alphas.
Yeah, hey, you know what's funny is as the video progresses, the lead gets more and more, just his facial expressions get more and more like, is this motherfucker serious? You know, I guess we just didn't, just the hell with our algorithm, huh? We just swearing all over the place now.
It's fine.
All right.
But the issue with me, like I said, as a man, you're held captive because at the end of the day, the kids really follow their mother. And if the mother starts talking negative about you in front of them, then you're gonna not have that relationship with them. Thank God I have a good relationship with my kids. I mean, my son is gonna move in with me. It paid off for me, even though I have to pay more. But the way I saw it is, labor, that's energy, that's going to come and go. But the time and the support, because they're in the formative years. If your wife start talking bad about you when you get divorced and they're 12 or 13 and they start hating you, and I've seen that a lot, I said, I don't want that. So therefore, I paid a little bit more. But now I'm at a point that my kids love me. They care about me.
You said your child was 18 years old?
Wait, pause that. So is it even worth it to be married if that's the mindset, right?
I mean,
like to have all that extra anxiety, all that extra stress,
it's
that burden on your shoulders to think about whether your kids are going to love you or not.
This is a great question, and this is one of the reasons why I believe that men are running away from marriage as much. Men have to propose. You know, men are traditionally, we propose, and a lot of men are not proposing because of this situation. Mm-hmm. Now, the lead says, hold on a second. Your kid is 18? And so let's see his reaction, because he has the attorney hand. Mm-hmm. He got the attorney hand up. I've been in depositions before. When an attorney does something like that, it usually means they about to get in your ass. Okay.
He just turned 18 last 13 days.
And you overpaid for 3 years. So your child was 15 when you guys got separated?
Yes.
So your child is 15 years old and is able to be swayed by the mom at 15 years old?
Oh,
and
yeah. Yes.
To the extent that you have to pay her 30 grand extra?
But the money's not the problem.
If you guys, listen to me. If your child does not know you by 15, you're fucked.
You're fucked. See, this is what I'm talking about. By the time I was 7, 8, 9 years old, all right, I was able to see through a lot of different tactics, right?
Yes.
Right? But the thing is, later on in the video, he says that he actually sees his kids like half the time. So the kid should be able, at 15 years old, I would think, that they would be able to discern the difference between the mother and the father. So what they do. So
I don't know. I'm just going to read into this a little and say that there was probably some infidelity or something that really... If your kids lose respect for you, it's usually your fault. You know, if your kids lose respect for you, it's usually your fault. I was mad at my dad many times, but I had respect for my dad. Mm-hmm. Right? I've been mad at my mom many times. Respect my mom. You have to do some major stuff to make them disrespect you, maybe not raise them correctly, maybe not just not be present. So perhaps he did something that he's not talking about, right? You know, anyway, just the lead attorney just really said it. If they don't respect you or know you by 15 and you have part-time, you're fucked.
You got some issues.
If a woman, listen, if a woman can easily...
Once again, he has that attorney hand in full effect. He's like, listen.
Easily change a 4-year-old's perception of you as a dad. Even a 6-year-old's, even a 10-year-old. If you have to pay $30,000 so that your 15-year-old, who you spend half the time with, this isn't even making any sense. Are you telling me you spent half the time with your child, your 15-year-old child?
That's what I'm talking about.
But the other half, your child could be turned against you?
But you see, my son's a mama's boy, so I need.
Yeah. Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes.
Could be turned against you.
But you see, my son's a mama's boy, so and she's very protective of him.
Wait. Let me just get this straight. You spent half the time with your child, your 15-year-old.
He gonna take another drink.
Yep.
But in that other half where he's not with you, 15 years old, he has eyes, he has ears, he talks to you, he sees what type of man you are after 15 years. You're saying that the mother could turn him against you?
Okay, well, that's what I thought, because now he's 18 and he wants to live with me. He just told me, hey, Dad, I want to come with you. You have your own house. She just moved to this nice little beach house. She has a beautiful house. She's cool people.
She got a beach house,
my
too.
My son's about to come and live with me.
Wait, the mom is cool people?
Yeah.
You just said you had to pay her $700 a month so she didn't talk shit about you in front of your own 15-year-old.
Yeah.
She's mad as hell.
But she's cool people?
Look, as long as my kids are not turned against me and they love me and they care for me, I don't.
That's not even his fault, guys. Shout out to him. I can't take it.
I know this is serious, but the lead was like, I can't.
Shut it down. Shut it down.
Hey, he Kevin Samuel. I'm sorry. I will bid you a do.
He didn't even play that Star or whatever the Fallen Soldier song.
Listen. I kicked you off. I apologize. I can't take it. I can't listen to this bullshit. I don't even know what you're talking about. That's not you.
So, hey, shout out to the lead attorney, man. This is some of the best content I've ever seen. He's like, look, I just can't take this bullshit. I know what you, man. How many times has someone been telling you a story when they're obviously making the wrong moves, and then they start backpedaling, trying to make it sound better, and you just be like, I can't take this bullshit no more. You know? How many times? But I remember we had a meeting with one of your homeboys when we first tried to start, and he was talking to me. Okay. I'm not gonna say his name. Yeah. You know, even I had to slap the shit out of him. But I ain't gonna say his name. That motherfucker was talking to me, and I was like, I looked at you like, I can't take this bullshit.
Sometimes it happens.
This is absolutely the best lead attorney clip I've ever seen. Look, shout out to the lead attorney. If you folks ain't catching them out on the YouTube Rooney, man, you just the lead attorney. Follow him and subscribe. One thing I like about the lead attorney most is he really supports small content creators. I don't know. I might even join this Patreon, man. I mean, and I am not a member of anyone's Patreon. You know, I mean, but I might join this Patreon just to see.
And he holds community sessions. He lets a lot of different variety of content creators to come on and shout out their channel. So he does a great work for the community as a whole.
The people whose Patreons my eye is on that I'm thinking about joining is the lead in Anton Daniels. Anton Daniels. Those are the ones my eye is on. But what do you think? Any final words about this clip?
Yeah, because we didn't even go into it, which I thought we were.
Well, I was trying to, but I was just too busy laughing at this shit, man.
It was okay. You brought up a stat earlier about younger people. Yeah, younger people that are getting away from marriage.
Yes.
So what were your thoughts about that? Why are men not getting into marriages now and starting families?
So we just talk about marriages being started. I'm gonna say three real reasons. Number one, and maybe this is just me, there is not family pressure to be married, right? There's not family pressure to be married. Marriage as an institution seems to be waning away. I think that, like, especially like my mom's time, there was pressure for her to be married from her parents. They looked down upon her, especially having babies out of wedlock was really looked down upon. It's not looked down upon anymore, right? Number two, the court system is totally against men in case of divorce. The court system is totally against men in case of divorce. I'm saying it again. All right, and so I mean, we just had a situation here where a guy was ordered to pay $13.75 or $13.25 or whatever, and he paid more money.
$2,000 more.
He paid more money.
Somebody's rent.
Yeah, he paid $700 more a month to placate this person.
Oh, wasn't it $2,000?
Yeah, no, it was. They wanted $1,300 and he paid $2,000.
Okay.
So to placate this person, right? Just to keep them in a thing they want. So because he felt like his kids would be turned against him. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Hit the notifications. Thank you for rocking with us.
And before you do all that, actually do that first because we need the numbers.
Do it first.
We need numbers.
It don't cost you nothing to like it and subscribe.
And where can they find you at?
You can find me on the gram at IamGorilla1. Where can they find you?
At scott.tieee. Look down the links below, or look down in the description below to look at all of our links from the TIP Network to Org Uni. You'll see a motion graphic pop up here where I talk about crypto news and holistic development. And also you can find us on the TIP Network at TIP Network. And then on IG, you can find us at CanYouHandleTheTip_. And then on Facebook, Happiness Podcast Project. And eventually, like I said this before, we'll make it into one name when we have the time to do so.
I'm waiting for someone to call us out and say, what is eventually?
What is eventually?
Hey, I'm just glad Scott remembers all that shit, because I don't, man. Hey, and one last thing. Booty in your face.
Yep. I was going to say something.